Welcome to Unleashing Human Potential, a leadership insight series from ATW Training Solutions, where we share practical leadership ideas to help you empower your people, elevate performance, and build stronger organizations. Each episode delivers a quick leadership insight you can use immediately.
Hi, I'm Todd McDonald, founder and president of ATW Training. Let's unleash the potential in you, your people, and your business. Recently, I heard from a high public profile speaker say something that stopped me in my tracks. They said, fear is often a bigger motivator than opportunity. The more I sat with that idea, the more I began to see it playing out inside organizations that we work with. I once worked with a team that had real talent. They had experience, smart people, and meaningful opportunity in front of them. But they weren't moving. They weren't taking risks. They weren't offering new ideas. They weren't stretching themselves. At first glance, it looked like they were simply comfortable. But when we dug deeper, we realized it wasn't comfort at all. It was fear. Fear of standing out, fear of failing and paying a price for it. So instead of chasing opportunity, they managed risk. They did what was required. They stayed inside the lines. They avoided mistakes whenever possible. And interestingly enough, fear worked, at least for a while. The work still got done. Deadlines were met. The team performed well enough to stay afloat, but something else started to happen beneath the surface. Creativity faded, momentum slowed, potential went untapped. People stopped asking what's possible, and instead they started asking what's safe. And that shift changes everything inside the team. Let me give you another example that might sound familiar. Imagine a team meeting where a leader asks for ideas to improve a process or solve a problem. In some organizations, hands immediately go up. People build on each other's ideas. There's energy in the room. But in other environments, the room goes quiet. People look down at their notes. They just wait around. Not because they don't have ideas, but because they're calculating the risk. They're wondering, what happens if my idea doesn't work? Will I be criticized? Will I be blamed? Will it affect my reputation? In that moment, fear outweighs opportunity. And when that happens consistently, organizations slowly start to play smaller than their potential. Now, here's where leadership becomes incredibly important, because not all fear is bad. In fact, a certain kind of fear can actually be very healthy. Jim Collins, author of Good to Great, talks about BHAGs, big, hairy, audacious goals. And a true BHAG should scare you a little. If it doesn't, it's probably not big enough. Big goals should create a sense of stretch. They should push people beyond what they've done before. They should challenge teams to grow, to adapt, and to think differently. But there's an important distinction here. A BHAG should create stretch, not shutdown. Energy, not paralysis. When fear comes from possibility, people lean forward. They feel the excitement of chasing something meaningful. But when fear comes from consequences, people pull back. They start protecting themselves, and leaders play a huge role in determining which type of fear shows up. When mistakes are punished instead of explored, fear shrinks ambition. When people feel like they'll be embarrassed, blamed, or judged for trying something new, they'll just stop trying. When silence feels safer than speaking up, fear limits thinking. But when leaders create environments where learning is valued, where experimentation is encouraged, and missteps are part of the process, something powerful happens. Fear becomes fuel instead of friction. People become more because they're willing to try. They test ideas. They learn quickly. They adapt. And over time, opportunity starts to outweigh fear. I once worked with a leader who intentionally changed the way his team talked about mistakes. Instead of asking, who's responsible for this? He started asking, well, what did we learn from this? That one shift changed the tone of the entire team. People began sharing ideas again. They spoke up earlier when they saw potential problems. Innovation increased, not because fear disappeared, but because the fear of punishment was replaced by the opportunity to grow. Now, that's the kind of environment where human potential starts to unlock. So here's the question to reflect on today. Do the goals in your organization create healthy fear that stretches people, or unhealthy fear that stops them? Because fear can motivate compliance, but opportunity paired with trust unleashes potential. And the best leaders don't eliminate fear, they help people move towards something bigger.
Thanks for listening to Unleashing Human Potential, a leadership insight series from ATW Training Solutions. For more leadership insights and resources to help you develop your people and strengthen your organization, visit atwtraining.com. Until next time, keep leading, keep growing, and keep unleashing human potential.